You know, I'm not sure I should say anything else because I risk a retrial if I say the wrong thing.
Yeah, so that juror in the Vallow Daybell trial, the center of a recently filed motion, the so-called doomsday mom, as you know, is asking for a retrial just 2 weeks after being found guilty of conspiring to kill her husband, Charles Vallow.
Vallow Daybell is claiming that there was misconduct with one of the jurors, and based on that, she is demanding a new trial. Our Zach Poletsky live in studio with us to explain this motion. And if there really is a chance that she could benefit from this.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are surprised that she filed this motion. We knew she was planning to appeal that guilty verdict. But one lawyer we spoke with says there is one argument in this 13-page motion that has the best chance of landing her a new trial. That argument is that at least one of these jurors knew about her previous convictions before that verdict was reached.
As to the crime of count 1, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder occurring on or about July 11, 2019, guilty.
Less than 2 weeks after Lori Vallow Daybell was convicted in the murder of her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, the so-called doomsday mom, already on the search for a new trial.
I think that most of the arguments that Lori Vallow has would amount to what's called harmless error, meaning that no appellate judge is going to look at it and be like, this error was so significant that the verdict must be overturned. But if there is a tainted juror, that's completely different.
In a motion filed late last week, Vallow Daybell claims that juror number 15 knew she had 3 previous murder convictions. Here's what she told True Crime Arizona's Brianna Whitney 2 days after the verdict was reached.
Let's say you weren't. Would you have preferred the jurors to know that Tylee was dead?
I don't know that. I think they obviously did know.
We caught up with juror 15 as he was leaving the courthouse following the verdict.
Were any of you folks aware that this woman had already been
I had never been
convicted
heard.
of
I have never heard of her.
homicides?
Yeah, no,
and
I've
the
never heard
jurors
of her
did not know
before.
that.
No, I did not.
But in a different interview later that afternoon, that juror was once again asked his reaction to those previous convictions and said, quote, "You know, I feel sorry for her. Driving home yesterday, I was like, God, she's spending the next 3 lives in prison, in a cell." I asked criminal defense attorney Josh Colesrud, who followed the case, his thoughts on that quote. I guess the fact that he referenced yesterday, if he truly said this 10, 15 minutes after the verdict was read, would that raise a red flag for you?
Yes, it definitely raises a red flag. However, if this juror was aware of the conviction before deliberations took place, or even during deliberations, it's very likely the judge will have to order a new trial.
The key word in that quote, yesterday. Now, Colesrud says he expects the judge in this case to schedule a hearing to, 1, determine when exactly that juror found out about those prior convictions, and 2, if he knew before heading into deliberations, did it have an effect on his deliberations, and did he tell any other juror, again, if he truly knew about those previous convictions before that verdict was reached. For now, reporting in studio, Zach Poletsky for Arizona's Family.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Zach, thank you.